Wish we had some Jeopardy music or something to play. Okay, I've got Zoom on my phone open, and we're on StreamYard, which should be on YouTube. Let me mute for a second so I don't yell. Okay. Normally I would just holler, but he's in the next room, and it's what teenagers are for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, grab my book here. Oh, that's the wrong one.
Who else is on?
I'm not. Nobody else is on right yet. It's a holiday week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just wrapping up some of my mortgages, working on some stuff, and well, since nobody's here, we can talk about our in March.
I'm alive. He says we're alive. Okay. Plano Idea Exchange. Sorry. Whoops. Excuse my language. Exchange. Today is November 23rd, 2022. I went to the chiropractor this morning and had my, I guess it's a 3-month scan, but I'm about a month behind total. So over the past 4 months, I have lost 10 pounds, and I don't even know how many inches I've lost. So I'm super excited about that. And he did tell me, or she told me, that I was doing the wrong thing by sleeping on the heating pad. She said, put cold. I'm like, oh, I need to get one of my ice packs from my cooler. And she said, well, we gave you an ice pack. And I said, oh, that's right. So I went and got it out of the freezer and laid on it for about 20. She said, do it 20 minutes at a time. And it already feels so much incredibly better. And I took my magnesium and my whatever other supplement they gave me. So feeling better.
Awesome.
Okay. Yes. So since it's you and I, we can talk about March.
Yes, I did talk to several people, because I'm always talking to somebody, and just like you, right? And
Right.
so I did talk to David DeLeon on that this morning, and he's like, "Oh, we can do breakout session, learning how to do this and do this and this and this." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the plan on doing it." Tim was like, "Well, how do you want to do?" I was like, let Karen and I figure it out. Okay, we
got this.
We can handle that and we can make that work. And he's like, well, I said, yes, we can. Believe me.
Yeah.
We do not need whatever. Okay.
Right. So I'm thinking we still need to decide on the price for the attendees.
Yes.
But I think for the speakers, I think we could do 500, which is the normal price. And then if they just want to sponsor and have a table, do 250. The speakers would be 500 and they get a table, and sponsorship, whatever. So we need everybody's, for the speakers and sponsors. For the speakers, we need their specialty that they're going to be talking about.
Yes. And
to be discussed.
I think the speakers, no, Tyler's here.
Oh.
I'm here.
Hi, sorry, Tyler. Thank you for showing me that. I was looking at my list here. So their specialty to be discussed, and we're only going to have one of each on the panel, right?
Yeah, they're only going to be one, and they have an hour or 45 minutes to talk.
I think 45 minutes. I think they should do at least 30 minutes talking and presenting, and then 15 minutes of Q&A. And then they can tell them that when their part's over, then they can go back to their table, and they will continue to answer questions over there at their table. But they can.
We're talking about March 3rd and 4th, doing a big, doing an expo, something like that. That's what
we haven't decided what it's going to be called. One guy, someone suggested We first had credit to closing. Credit to closing. Then we had somebody else suggested something about the dream team. Where did I write that down at?
Finding your niche and more in real estate.
Shoot, where did I write that? That was on a call with someone. I've got so many freaking notebooks. Let me see if it's in my caution book. Story Hook, 10 acres, 5 acres. Anyway, I'll have to find it. So Tyler, what we're doing is we're putting together an expo, and for anybody out there watching. Whoops. Oh, okay, Tyler, I just got your text. Sorry. We're putting together a big expo to where we're going to have, in real estate investing, I can do it all myself, but maybe I'm not so good at everything, or maybe I don't always want to be good. Like I was talking to a girl last night and I said, I remember when we used to have to paint the walls. I remember having to clean the poop out the toilet because one of the contractors took a crap in the toilet before the water was on or while the water was off and didn't address that issue. And here we were trying to go to, leasing it the next day. Our tenants are moving in and we had to go clean up a poopy toilet. And I was just laughing because I was like, we're making 10 grand a month and I'm cleaning a toilet. How stupid is this? But anyway, so then you have to decide what parts you're going to do and what parts you're not that great at. Maybe you need to hire that out. Obviously you need a real estate attorney, title company, things like that. But we want to bring in, we want to offer people the opportunity to speak in front of the whole group, and it's going to be a full day training, but it's not really a training so much as it is to say, hey, I already work with investors. So all of y'all are out there looking to build your team. We're building your dream team. Maybe you don't want to have a property manager right now, but maybe when you reach 10 properties or 20 properties or 5 properties, you want to outsource that. And here is a company that already works with Real Impact, already works with investors, so we don't have to train them on that. For example, the Make Ready company. Everybody needs a good Make Ready company because contractors are the absolute worst when it comes to finishing. They'll leave things, untouched up, not clean, things like that. And so you always need that good Make Ready company. But maybe you want to go in and do your own, final cleanings and put your own stamp of approval that it's ready for showing. Because I have shown properties via giving someone the lockbox code and them say this house is absolutely nasty because it hadn't been cleaned yet, and I was told that it was rent ready and ready to show, put it on the market, and it was not, and that really ruins a lot of potential and sets you back. Mm-hmm. So we were thinking about having credit repair.
Yeah, credit repair and then the 1031 exchange. I think that's a good one too,
1031 exchange. We want a good wholesaler. A good investor-friendly realtor that specializes in working with investors. We want
too many speakers. What I really would like to see is more those because when I talked to David this morning, he was really more going into those breakout sessions.
What did he mention? What he might like to have a breakout session in?
How Tim does fix and flip, how he talks to the seller, and how he gets that owner financing deal done.
Fix and flips.
Fix and flips. Just how to really make this happen on the on how to speak with people. Just really having those breakout sessions, only have them for about 30 minutes or 45 minutes too.
Right.
Starting at 9 o'clock with maybe a 1031 exchange or something like that. And then we can have one for credit repair, but it doesn't have to be credit repair. It could be in conjunction with the rent to own program that Dennis has that I can teach. You know,
Uh-huh.
how you're really gonna be able to do a rent to own program with your tenants as an exit strategy, giving some exit strategy, and have Doug and Renee speak about the
Tax sales.
tax sales, and then and you can talk about your automation stuff, which I think is really important also to talk about, how you automate stuff, and then but put it all together, have like a speaker, and then go do some breakout sessions that people can go in and do some breakout sessions, and then have another speaker, and then have the breakout sessions again so they can rotate and get
Okay.
and talk to more people, but
Gotcha.
limited to many numbers that you don't overwhelm yourself with too many.
So do we
people
want to have 2 breakout sessions going on at the same time?
Yeah. Yes, and have one in the morning, one in the afternoon. 2 of 2, and then basically they have the option to go to all 4 of them or all 5 of them, or whatever they want to do. But they
So
can pick.
the breakout sessions, well, for one thing, we have to make sure that the IMT is coming to it. So we need to find out what David and Vivi want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Doug and Renee have not mentioned that yet. If they're planning on coming, I haven't given them full details, but
Yeah,
David and Vivi definitely have reached out in that regard.
mm-hmm.
I'm going to put entrepreneurship because they have a Jimmy John's and they also have their investing and a child and blah, 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 all kinds of stuff going on. How do you juggle that? So,
Yeah, how to juggle business with real estate.
all right. So I have had incredible feedback from people that want to be a part of that event because it's basically, you may not need it now, but what are the advantages of working with like Marco? Just having your Airbnb, your short-term rental on, what was it, 56 platforms?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't have the software for that. He already has the software for that. So let him do it. And your exposure is so much more. I would like to find someone that has all that information on midterm rentals. So these are the kind of talks Gabi and I have every morning, but we had to cut our meeting short this morning. So, okay, Tyler, what have you got going on?
Yeah.
I don't have too much going on at the moment. I'm looking at launching my marketing campaign redone from everything I've learned last year, like I've been talking about, Monday of next week. So I'm really looking forward to that.
Is that going to be
looking at highly targeting? Yep, it's going to be a mail. There's a highly targeting landlords facing eviction. Either they filed or they have gone through the eviction process, and I'll be contacting them the day or day after the court date or the hearing. And I'm really looking forward to this hyper targeted marketing campaign. And then I'm also working with someone, a friend of mine in Austin, that's launching his own marketing company. And so he's been very helpful in helping me get all that mailing content built up.
He's launched his own marketing company of what type? Like direct mail or
so at the moment it is direct mail at the moment. And then he's looking at having that grow in the future into SEO, ads, and other avenues. But right now he's focusing on direct mail and then looking at growing that as he grows.
Is he actually printing the direct mail?
At the moment, he's not printing his own direct mail, but he's working on assisting with market research, the design that goes into the mail, customizing a lot of the content that goes into it. And then when it comes to the letters, he's actually taking the letters, folding them up, putting them on the envelope, and writing it out to be sent out. directly from his thing. So a little bit is being outsourced, a little bit is being taken care of within his people. So
Uh-huh. Okay, cool.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Is he eventually going to be printing?
I don't know about that. I'd have to talk to him about that.
Okay. Because we really need a company that does the mail outs that can do one-offs or 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever, that will let us do an API and connect it to our workspace so that we can send those out.
Mhm.
And I know you have been so busy, and have things slowed down a little bit from your W-2 job?
Yes, things are starting to slow down a little bit. I am catching up on some of my stuff. I've actually started catching up on some of our stuff with
Uh-huh.
the automation.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I might be able to have something recorded and sent to you this evening,
Okay.
if all goes according to plan.
All right. Well, I am cooking Thanksgiving today. Well, I'm not cooking Thanksgiving. I'm cooking a turkey and making green bean casserole, green beans, turkey and dumplings instead of chicken and dumplings. But I've got to wait for my groceries to come in at 5. And then we're going to get up and leave in the morning and drive to East Texas with all my cooked goodies. And I'm like, I'm using this pan because I bought this pan with a bag to carry it in, and I'm taking it with me, and I'm going to use it. I don't know yet what I'm going to use it for, but it's going with me. So I'm in that mode, and I've got like the triple crock pot out. I'm making giblet. Shh, be right back. Y'all continue on.
What's that? Hey there, Tyler. How you doing? It's Kurt. Hello, Gabby.
Hi.
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Doing
I'm
great.
doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good. Looks like I'm
Good.
about to get my first rental property.
Good.
Oh, yeah?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was making giblet gravy. And I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to turn them off.
No, it's all right. I don't expect anybody to do too much over these next, let's call it 5 days, because we're going to have the Thanksgiving coma come Thursday, and then that's just going to last through the weekend. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to get what I can to you, but it's not a rush that you look at it or anything. And I honestly don't expect anything from anybody over the next 5 days.
Right. So Kurt and I have been working. Kurt said he is getting his first rental property. Kurt, you want to tell us about that, or has anything changed, or anything you want to share? Remember, this is on YouTube Live.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I am going to renegotiate a little bit because I definitely got it. Well, basically, I got it under seller financing.
Uh-huh.
The property is worth about 55. I agreed to 65 just to be able to get it. And then it's $1,000 down, and it's 5.5% interest rate, which is my payment to her will be like $369 plus the condo fees, all that. So my out of pocket every month would be $733, give or take.
Awesome.
The place can rent for about $1,000. And I plan to put it under Section 8 just because of the location, right? It's my first time doing Section 8, but I see I can make it cash flow. So my next step, I need to renegotiate with her a little bit on the down payment just because of what I need to do to the property.
Uh-huh.
So it looks like a go. I mean, right now. I submitted the contract to the title company last Friday, so the ball's rolling, and so yeah, so it'll be my first rental property.
That's awesome. Super proud of you for sticking that out.
Oh yeah.
So you think that $1,000 down? You think you're going to have to? You're going to need to put that into working on the property, so you don't. So you want to offer her less?
Oh, it's not just that. So I've been, well, thanks to Greg Gray and some other people, that I've been learning about how to properly do Section 8. Like, you want the house Section 8 ready. In fact, there's a book that Greg recommended. I've been reading it. It's called the Section 8 Bible. And Greg had mentioned some stuff during Cancun where he said, you have to eliminate stuff. For instance, I'm going to take out the disposal. I'm taking out all the ceiling fans and replacing them with integrated LED. So I'm going to spend about probably another $800 to $1,000 on the house just to make it where there's nothing to break. in the sense of what the book recommended, because the main gist of it is the less you have to deal with, the better. I mean, they even talk about taking off the closet doors in the bedrooms, which is crazy, I thought. But
How about the sliding doors?
oh, the sliding doors and even the regular doors sometimes.
I don't. If I think if the door was in good shape, I would leave it on. But
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't replace it. And definitely, I would trash any sliding doors. They absolutely suck.
Yeah, yeah.
The kids are going to get hurt. They're going to break them, or they're going to knock them off. It's just going to be a pain in the butt. So I agree with that. We've had several that have had that. We did install bifold doors one time, and that worked out okay. But that was in our personal residence, and
Yeah.
just 2 doors that do like this is fine. Or no doors at all. Not in my house, but in a rental. The kids are going to tear them up. He suggested removing the lights and replacing them with lights that have LED. Is that to keep the number one, they don't have to replace the bulbs.
Yeah.
And number 2, I bet that cuts down on their electrical.
Yeah. So from another source, I learned from a guy who has 70 Section 8 houses, and he basically pays utilities, a lot of them. And one of the things he does, if he's paying the utilities, he puts nothing but LED lights inside the house, from the front porch to the bedroom, bathroom. You can buy them, like even in the bathroom, the integrated LEDs. They look like a regular bathroom light, with the 4 bulbs, but you can't take them out. So that's important. And another tip that I learned was, well, the guy with the 70 houses, I'm not sure if this is, I guess it's legal. Yeah, of course it's legal. He basically has one key for all the Section 8 houses, and he eliminated the bottom knob with a key and simply replaced it with a regular doorknob. And then he has a deadbolt, one-sided deadbolt where you have to use the key to lock the door, because he had an issue where people would lose the key, call in the middle of the night, and then he'd have to come out there, replace the key in like $45, but it was also his time. But he eliminated that, because that way, if you're going to leave the house, you have to use a key to lock the door. So
that's a really actually pretty decent idea.
Yeah, and he has, I think he uses Kiwi Lock, or is it? I can't remember the name of the brand.
Kwikset.
Kwikset, that's what it is. Kwikset. So pretty much whatever he uses for the deadbolt, I guess there's a key number. So he buys those in bulk, so that way he can replace the deadbolts any new houses he has.
I would be curious what the cost difference. I know it would be more expensive, but I would be curious what the cost difference would look like if you were to look at having a smart lock on there instead of keying them all to the same key.
Well, yeah,
from a security perspective, that would make more sense instead of having one key to rule them all.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but you got to consider this is Section 8 housing, so the whole key in that Section 8 Bible they were talking about was that you want to make things simple to fix and duplicatable. So the less to break, the better. Because think about it: if you have the pad and you have 70 houses, there's always a problem, right? So do you want to call in the dead of night to go fix this thing, or do you want to just keep it simple to where it's a simple deadbolt? I mean, that's my thinking on it.
Well, I guess my thought is, like, if it was a smart lock, then you could have it set up so that either they're setting it up so they can unlock it through their phone or their key, or worst case scenario, if something does break and they can't do it, you can open it on your phone. You don't have to go out there. You could unlock it, and it makes it simpler from that perspective. So, I guess it's a give and take from what benefit do you want versus what.
I tell you, I have I don't remember what kind. It's a Kwikset lock, but it's the push button, the digital lock. I just punch in the code, and I never even have to pull my keys out of my purse because my house and my car are both keyless entry. And I do have my key on my keychain, but I can set a code for on my phone with an app. I can set a code for the contractor, for the bug guy had to come by when we first moved in. I was able to let him in by setting a certain code. I gave my kids each a code to be able to get in, but only if that top lock is unlocked. So like you said, if you don't even have a separate doorknob, but you have a deadbolt that locks, and then on the inside you have a deadbolt and a deadbolt of
Like an
Yeah.
internal
so
deadbolt.
you would still have to have two deadbolts. You'd have to have one that has a key from the outside so they can lock the house when they leave, and then one that only locks from the inside, because that's what Section 8 requires. They require some kind of lock on the inside that nobody can access from the outside if they're home.
Yeah, and to add to that, because I was reading part of the Section 8 Bible last night, he talked about, don't use a double-sided deadbolt only, because it's a fire hazard. Because let's say they can't find the key and the house is burning, and then they're dead because why? You couldn't get out of the house. So that's why you use a one-sided deadbolt. That way they can just undo it and get out of the house.
Yeah, so we always use their little slip locks. They're like $2.97. Well, 5 years ago they were $2.97, and they literally just pull this little thing up and over, like slide it up and over, and it keeps the door from opening. Section 8 is a wonderful thing in the fact that they pay like that, and if you have any issues with your tenants, you can bring it up with Section 8, and always do that. If you have a problem, don't not go to Section 8 to document it, because they're asking you not to, especially if they have their felon ex-boyfriend or their felon mother just got out of jail and has moved in with them for just a little while. Always, make them aware that you know about the issue, but let Section 8 and the tenant know that you've reported it, so that, like, in the same email. I would always say, this has occurred. This is how we've taken care of it. We've advised her that he has to move out by 5 days or whatever, and that if this happens again, we're going to cancel her lease and file eviction because she's breaking the lease. But generally, if you will just let Section 8 know that there has been an issue and you have resolved it, then they'll just put that in the file, and the tenant knows that, hey, like, this is my, I've already received a warning. I need to be on my P's and Q's. So, and then talk to the neighbors also and tell them to let you know, like, hey, if there's ever any issues, please give me a call and I'll see what I can do to resolve it. We've had one that we didn't know about, that the neighbors just never called us and told us that the police were getting called. The boyfriend was out of jail and staying with her, and lots of drama going on. The police getting called, and he was getting physical with a neighbor, and they didn't like them very much. I mean, it was a really violent atmosphere, and so they had to go. So
yeah. On an added note, so speaking of like documentation, so because right now I'm in Southeast Texas visiting my folks, so I decided to go to eviction court, right? Because Greg was talking about
what
it.
else do you do when you're on vacation visiting your family?
Hey, well, let me tell you, eviction court is very interesting. It's either very amicable, everybody's nice, and then there's always some drama. Always. I mean, there has not been a dull moment I've been there. But this Tuesday, I went, and I happened to be talking to a girl in there. I said, "Hey, you're a landlord?" She goes, "No, but I'm here to evict somebody. I work with housing." And I was like, "Okay, let me see if I can pick her brain a bit." And she gave me a good thing. She her biggest advice was, document everything. If you send a notice, send a certified mail, and even when they put notices in people's doors, if you do that, you take a picture of it and you sign it. Before the person moves into your house, take pictures of it.
Yep.
In the condition it is, and you can email it to yourself. So that way.
You also need to do a video walkthrough as well, because they'll say that was like that when I moved in. I'm not responsible for that. And then they also, Section 8 also does their own inspections throughout the time that the tenant lives there. And they always let us know, like, hey, we were in the house today and the toilet lid's broken. There's crayon on the wall. One of the, they give us a list and then they tell us what we need to take care of. And then what the tenant has been made aware of that they're going to have to fix, or it's going to be held out of their deposit. So, and also make sure if you have central air and heat that you always physically show the tenant how to change it.
Oh, you mean in thermostat?
The filter, sorry.
Oh, the filter.
Yeah. They need to know where it is and how to change it and how often. And I always tell them every time rent is due, on the first of every month, change your filter.
Okay. Yes. Oh, and by the way, I'm trying to find a good lease because typically I don't do rentals. This is new to me. I pretty much I know how to do owner financing and of course subject to, but when it comes to doing a lease, because my understanding is I need to have that lease very clear because that's your first line of defense is your lease.
I think I should be able to get you one. Did I lose you?
Oh no, I'm here.
Yeah. I'll look through my stuff and see if I have a good lease.
Okay, thank you so much.
Change filters.
Hey, Gabby, do you do Section 8?
Say again?
Do you do Section 8, Gabby?
No.
No.
I've not done Section 8.
I love Section 8. Kurt, so I'm guessing, I know that one of the things we always had to mess with was the screens. Every room in the house that has to have at least one window with a screen. So if it's a bedroom with 2 windows, one of the screens has to have a window. So what we did was anytime we had a Section 8 house and we had a tenant move out, we would check the screens. And we found a blind place that had a guy that made their screens, like a custom blind place. And we got the hookup with their screen guy. And I would just call him. I didn't have to go measure, nothing. I just called him up or called him and said, hey, we need screens at this address. And it's for Section 8. So just go ahead and replace it, fix all the screens. So if it was torn, he would replace it. And if it was missing, he would create it and put it on.
Oh, really?
By my measurements and then making the wrong size and me not know how to install them. And it was really easy and he was really affordable. So that's a kind of tip you might check into, like a local blind place for a recommendation for a screen company.
Yeah, I didn't know that about the screen. In fact, this place is a condo. I'm not sure if the same rules apply. Maybe they do.
It should. They have to have screens on the windows.
You also have to talk to the homeowners association if they're gonna let you do Section 8.
Yeah, well, in fact, the lady I'm buying from, she has 3 condos there. She's part of the HOA. In fact, she's a bit of a tired landlord. In fact, she was a good lesson in, how do I say this? She's a very nice lady, but she was too nice with a lot of the people there. So they took advantage of her, like her rents are low. And she's had one too many tenants taking eviction court because, she's like, I just really want to help people. I don't want to charge them too much. And I let the late fee slide. So it turned out that it turned into a problem property. In fact, initially, just to give you a backstory, she called on one of my bandit signs. She had 3 properties. I got them at a low price. Well, initially, I tried to wholesale it, but my buyer fell through. And finally, I was just like, hey, you know what? I know one of your units is vacant. Were you willing to do owner financing? She did. And the reason why she was open to it is because she's just tired of going to court and going to eviction court and then constantly messing with the place. And the place is in very good condition, but she's just not a good landlord. No, I mean she's a nice person, but not a good landlord in the sense of business sense. As far as being too nice, there we go.
And being profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Property, yeah, there we go.
being a nice person, but you be a nice person, yes, and be a person of your word, yes. But when it comes to your business, you have to look at it and treat it as a business. So when you're striking those deals with people, you have to remember that's number one. It's cost you, as you didn't receive your payment. Like, let's say they want to pay on the 15th. I don't have a problem with you paying on the 15th, but you're still going to have to pay your late charges, because I am now going to have to dig into my pocket and pay the payment and then wait on your rent. So you still give them your notice. Remember, we talked about that the other day. You always give a 5-day notice, a 3-day notice, even if they have a payment arrangement. So if you send your 3-day notice out on the 5th and they're supposed to pay on the 15th, you've given them their 3-day notice. You're giving them at least 3 days. Okay. And then they're going to call and say, why did you send me this? I'm paying on the 15th. Yes, I know. We have an agreement, but I still have to legally let you know in writing. So as long as you pay as agreed on the 15th, then you can just disregard that. But if you don't pay me on the 15th, then now I've completed my 3 days. Now the 16th, I can go file for eviction. Otherwise, if you wait till the 15th, then you have to give a 3-day notice. Then you probably have a weekend in there, and now you're at 20 days before you can even file. And I like to get my stuff done the same month. If they don't pay this month, I like to get my eviction filed and probably to court by the end of that 30 days.
You know what you also can do in that case?
What's
You
that?
can tell them you're going to pay 1 month ahead. And so you're always going to be ahead of time paying on the 15th.
So you
Yeah.
have them pay, you mean if they push you back to the 15th,
Mhm.
they're going to pay two payments, or you
They
have to pay 2 months in the beginning?
They start paying 2 payments. So they're always 1 month ahead of time.
Uh-uh.
Mm. Oh, I got a question about that. Speaking of, so this being my first rental, and it's going to be Section 8. I got to wonder, as far as the deposit goes, because via my conversation with the girl from the housing authority at eviction court, she says their down payments. Usually you want the first month's rent deposit, right?
Uh-huh.
With Section 8, I think I'm gonna have to take a little bit less, just because it's Section 8. They might not have the money because they're in Section 8 for a
I've
reason.
never, ever had to have. Our deposit is always equal to 1 month's rent. Never had anyone have an issue with it. If they had really bad credit, then we had them pay double deposit. They would have to pay their first deposit, and then they could pay their second deposit out on the 15th for 2 months.
Now, is this with Section 8?
Mm-hmm. Never had a problem with Section 8 tenants not having the money. They come up with the money.
Okay. Well, one guy suggested that if they don't have the money, I can have someone co-sign with them.
What are they co-signing? The money, the deposit is the security that they're going to leave the property in good shape and pay their rent on time. So if you drop your deposit and get a co-signer, that co-signer is not going to care if they move out.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a bridge I got to cross.
Yeah.
'Cause-
I definitely wouldn't. You could maybe let them pay if they don't have all of it, then maybe let them pay the other part of it on the 15th of the first month they move in. But I'm telling you, they will come up with the money, and they have Section 8 paying their rent, so they're not having to pay the rent; they're just having to pay the deposit.
Yeah. And also, I was thinking too, because here, for some reason in Southeast Texas, they're telling me Section 8 will only pay 70%, which that's kind of very interesting for the house. I know, right? And then, but the girl told me yesterday, sometimes they pay 100%, depending on the
It's
situation.
dependent on their income and whether the house is all electric or electric and gas, and if the tenant pays the utilities. So here's a little bit of information. So if you have an all electric house and you have a Section 8 tenant and they make enough to qualify for 100%, and your rent's $1,000, then it's $1,000. But let's say they don't qualify. I'm sorry, you're paying the utilities, it's all good. But if the tenant is responsible for the utilities and they say, okay, she only makes this much and she has an all electric house. It's, this many square feet. This is about how much her electric bill is going to be. Therefore, she's going to pay that plus her portion of the rent. So it's got to fit in their box, and then they'll cap it. They'll say she can't afford more than $900 a month rent because we're paying this much and she's paying this much and she only makes this much and she has all electric. So I like to have houses that are gas and electric because the utility bills are essentially cheaper in the summer and then a higher gas in the winter, and then they kind of even out.
Mhm.
But they won't know that. I mean, we've actually had to go down on rent by $100 because we moved somebody in, and then Section 8 sent us the thing that said, okay, they only qualify because it's all electric. They only qualify for this much, and the rent's this much. And we'd already let her move in because it was a holiday. So we came down on rent.
Okay. Yeah. So I've considered that because in the case of the condo, they pay for water and everything. So pretty much it's just the electricity they got to pay. And I was considering, because I've heard different opinions of people who do 100%. And
Oh, I think I lost you, Kurt.
oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Different opinions of people that paid 100%.
Sorry.
I was having to kill some chat, block somebody from sending hot photos of his sister.
Oh, God. Yeah. So pretty much the people pay 100% and you're paying the bills. That's part of the reason why you want to make everything LED, replace the toilet with a from the 5-gallon to a 1.6-gallon flush. That way, because you're keeping your bills down, right? So, okay, I didn't know that. Well, I want to find out because once I get under contract, the good news is my first payment's not due till 60 days after we close. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, so is the HOA paying the water or are you?
The HOA.
Okay.
That's part of it.
Okay. So toilet flappers are very, very phenomenal for running the water.
What's a toilet flapper?
The toilet flapper is the part that the flapper in the tank. And but if you're not paying the water bill, it's not that big of a concern. But of course, you want the HOA to be profitable, and they may let you know, like, hey, like you change the flapper because your water bill is higher than normal.
Okay.
So that's all interesting. Thank you for that very much.
Thank you.
And congratulations and good job sticking to that. And maybe she'll have such a good experience with you as the other ones become vacant or get behind in their rent. She'll turn to you to sell them to you and pick up some more.
That's my hope / goal because nothing like a
you let her know too that if she has any if any issues ever come up with them and she decides she wants to sell, give you a chance to buy it first.
Yeah, I agree. Awesome.
As well as the other ones in the HOA that we talked about that need to sell, that probably should sell.
Oh yeah. The yes, I remember that one.
Maybe you'll be the president of the HOA before it's all said and done.
You know what? I gotta be honest. If I owned that whole thing, there's 32 units.
Yep.
And if I just cash flow $300,
yep,
that would be pretty dang good.
buy a list of all the people that live in that own those properties and skip trace them and send them an email. Tyler, I was going to suggest that you're starting your marketing on Monday and you have that highly targeted list. Have you skip traced them and thought about sending them an email as well?
I have considered email. I'm not doing that at the moment. I'm just specifically sticking with the cold calling and direct mail at the moment.
Okay. You might want to
I need to go.
if you don't have if you haven't used my link, my affiliate link to direct skip, you get 500 free skips, and they give you the email address. And I like to start with an email address, an email. So as soon as I get my list in, I send them all an email. And we still have to do that because I'm still paying for that service. So maybe if you have time later after this call, we could look at that.
Yeah.
And as soon as I take my turkey off out of the oven, because it's now turkey time.
Okay.
But let me get that link real quick. It's on my link tree. There it is. And 500 free skips. Let me copy that and I'll throw that in the chat. My affiliate code, affiliate link for 500 free skip traces. Oh, I posted, well, it's fine. I posted it there, but I don't know how to get back to our private chat. Private chat, there we go. So Kurt, you could do that as well if you bought all the list of who all owns properties in that condo association. You know, some of them own more than one. Uh-oh, I lost Kurt. Anyway, Kurt, trace all the owners and reach out to them and see if let them know that when you have a problem with the property, to call you first, so that you can have the opportunity to buy them. Anyway, okay, Tyler, you got any, do you got anything else? Do you have anything else for this call?
Nope, not at the moment.
All right, great. Oh, I did need to say, Terry is looking for specifically, Terry Chase out of Addison has a client looking for, okay, she's needing to find 3 to 10 acres in Fort Worth or Arlington or nearby very soon for a client. So 3 to 10 acres, Fort Worth or Arlington, in that area. Okay, the zoning needs to be industrial. It says M1 or M2. Building is good if possible, up to 1.3 million. I'm trying to discern what her post says because she's in the U.S. Virgin Islands and it didn't really come through the way she meant it. Oh, to store cars needs ASAP. Zoning needs to be M1 or M2. To store cars. Okay. Zoning needs to be M1 or M2 industrial to store cars. Building is good if possible, up to 1.3 million. Send me what you
Building
got.
is good if possible. Looking for a building to store the cars in, I guess.
Yeah.
As opposed to building your own structure.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm assuming so. I'm assuming they're not. Well, I don't know. Anyway, she's in the U.S. Virgin Islands. She'll be back. You have her number, right?
Yeah.
So Terry's number is 214-399-3319. If anyone has anything that matches that description or thinks you might have something under 1.3 million, 3 to 10 acres, zoning M1 or M2. So there you go. All right. Well, I'm going. Oh, Kurt. Okay, you lost signal. So I have that link. I think it probably didn't show. There's that link. I suggested that you pull a list of everyone that owns properties in that complex, in the condo complex, and skip trace them and reach out to them and like put something like problem properties ? I'll buy it. And then send them an email that just basically says, I just bought one of the condos and I'm looking, I'm going to become a landlord there. Would like to get to know you. And if you have any properties that you're interested in selling, I'd be very, very interested in talking to you about it because I would like to obviously own more than one property in that area. in that building, in that unit, in that complex. So, Kurt.
I don't think he's invited to the studio.
Oh,
There you
sorry,
go.
Kurt. I don't know if you could hear me, but I was talking to you.
Oh no, I heard you. I was just like, man, I forgot about him and sitting here patiently. I was thinking, oh, no.
Well, I
I was kidding.
was like, he's right there. I see him right there. Anyway, I just posted the link in the chat, in our private chat, and on the YouTube video for the 500 free skips, and it gives you their phone numbers and email addresses.
Okay, I'll look into it. I use a service called IDI Data or IDI Core, really. But they charge me $1 per, so that sounds more economical than what you're doing. But for this one, this more targeted. Kind of scary with the amount of information they have, but yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
this is you could do that and just compare and see what you get.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, guys. Well, that's it. Thank y'all for joining me today. This is our first time. Well, I did it last week, but I was by myself because I forgot to send y'all the change. And then I was still in East Texas. So I just pulled over to McDonald's and like, please let me have enough signal to join. And I was. And so but y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. And we're getting excited about next month. Tyler, let me go take care of my turkey and my giblet gravy and make sure I'm not burning anything. And then if you have time about maybe 1:30, and we can jump on Zoom. Okay.
Yeah, I got time for that.
Okay. You have it's my same Zoom link that I always use. We can use the Pi one. That's fine.
Okay.
And we'll just jump on Zoom. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, Kurt. I'll see you next month at the December 17th Subject 2 event.
Oh yeah, and don't forget the little 5-minute videos. I want to see those.
Yes, Roger sent me a list. I have some things I had to fix, and then we're going to do. He wants me to do some 5 minutes or less videos on certain topics. And he said, go ahead and have everything filled out and then just show them how the documents are created. I'm like, that'll take like 30 seconds. So I can make a short video doing that.
Yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, and Tyler, I'll see you there too, right?
Yep. Yes. Except I'll talk to you all about that offline for that.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you all very much.
You guys, hopefully next Wednesday on this call.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.
Yep. See ya. Bye.